come up and trade me something so that you've got one. All right. So if I am looking at this problem, first we have to do what?
Take 9 times negative 2 root 3.
We are multiplying the like things together. Multiplication can happen in any order. This is just really one big multiplication problem. So we take our coefficients, the 9 times negative 2/3. One issue, I'm seeing a lot of people struggling with negatives, so make sure you're not dropping those. If you take a positive times a negative, your answer is negative. So we get -6. So that was from just multiplying these coefficients. Multiply your x's. If you have x to the 4th times x to the 7th, that gives you x to the 11th. And multiply your y's. Y cubed times y to the 4th would be y to the 7th. Okay, and make sure your answer, it's written, that's all one thing. I have some people that their final answers look like this. And you just have these things written somewhere randomly. They're all supposed to be together. This was the handout I gave you guys yesterday. So, then you need one of the extra handouts. Is anybody else not here yesterday that doesn't have one? Okay, they're all multiplied together, so write them all side by side when you do that, okay? We're doing just that examples column. That was it. Okay. So, example 8. On this one, we do have to start here with the square. So 2 squared would give me 4. That's 2 times 2. Okay, this is an x to the first. Power to the power, you multiply. So 1 times 2 is 2, x to the 2nd. With my y's, power to a power, we multiply. So 3 times 2 is 6. So all I've done is work that first parenthesis so far. Order of operations, we have to do exponents before we multiply things together. So I took my square through. Now, we can multiply these things. This is just a coefficient of 1. So you multiply your numbers. 4 times 1 is 4. We multiply the x's. X squared times x to the first would be x to the 3rd. We multiply our y's. Y to the 6th times y to the 10th would be, or times y to the 4th would be y to the 10th. Any questions on those two? The last ones I want to look at are a little bit different. Number 9 is asking for perimeter. Perimeter is the total distance on the outside. So to find our perimeter, we have to add all the sides together. Now, if I don't have them all written, what's this measurement over here going to be?
2A.
And this one is
4A.
4A. So I have to add all 4 of those together. Alright, so if I add these, I have 4A plus 2A plus 4A plus 2A if I'm going around the picture. Add those all up and we get Alright, if I look at this one, I'm going to do one of these problems. This side would be x. This one would be
3x squared.
So perimeter, you add all 4 of those. Remember, when we add, we can only add like terms. So 3x squared plus 3x squared, and 1x plus 1x, 2x. Alright, so perimeter is distance around the outside. Area is the amount of stuff on the inside. For a rectangle, area is length times width. So if I want this area, my length is 4a, my width is 2a. 4a times 2a squared, because each of these is to the first. So perimeter, you add them, area, you multiply them. If I look at the next one, it's a triangle. How would we find the area of a triangle? Actually, no. One way to think about it, a triangle is really just half of a rectangle, right? So the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or length times width. The 1/2 because it's half of a rectangle. So 1/2 the bottom, which is 3ab, times the height, which is 4ab. Okay, we don't use this slanted side at all, just the top and the bottom. So if we are multiplying, you multiply your numbers together. So 1/2 times 3 times 4 . We multiply our a's. A times a. Each of those is the first. So you add those exponents. So it's a squared. You do your b's. B times b. So add those exponents. So it's b squared. 6a squared b squared. All right. We're going to take a break in notes for a moment. I'm going to give you guys some time to work on this paper. If you were in the next piece that we are talking about is dividing with you. So we have added, subtracted, multiplied. Next step is dividing. And if we think about this, if I said, let's go down, we're going to do example 1 first to come up with our rule. X to the 5th means you have 5 x's multiplied together. X to the 3rd means you have 3 x's multiplied together. If we do that, we could cancel x's on top and bottom. So I can cancel 3 sets. How many x's are left? 2. How did we get that from the original? X to the 5th divided by x cubed. We subtract. When we multiply the x's, we add the exponents. When we divide them, we subtract. So x to the a divided by x to the b is just x to the a minus b power. We just subtract those exponents because if we write it all out as multiplication, they cancel. So number 2. If I say k to the 12th over k squared. So you could write it out, 12k's on top, 2 on the bottom, and cancel. Or we could just do the subtraction. 12 minus 2 is 10. So we have k to the 10 left. All right, number 3. If we think about this, m to the 3rd, that means there's 3 m's. M to the 3rd, there's 3 m's. They all cancel. If I say like 2 divided by 2, what is that? It's 1. If everything cancels out, if you have the exact same thing on top and bottom, it cancels out and just gives us 1. So m to the 3rd divided by m to the 3rd is 1. All right, we can do this with multiple variables. We just keep the like ones together. So if I say a to the 6th over a squared. So first, if I do my a's, 6 minus 2 is 4. B to the 4th divided by b to the 3rd, so 4 minus 3 is, so we get a to the 4th, b to the 1st. Number 5. This would be p to what power? 3rd. 7 minus 4 is 3. Q to the 16 minus 12. Number 6, x to the 15th. 20 minus 5 is 15. Y to the, what happens to my y's? It's the same thing on top and bottom, so that just means the y's are gone entirely. So if you had the same thing on top and bottom, those just cancel out, they're gone. But I do have z's, I have 2 on top and 1 on the bottom, so it's just to the 1st, only 1 z remaining. You guys understand what I'm doing so far? I can do the same thing with coefficients. Just like when we had multiplication, we multiply the coefficients together. With the division, we'll divide the coefficient in the variable part. We subtract our exponents. So if I say 6x to the 4th over 2x cubed. So what I'm going to do is the 6 divided by 2 and the x to the 4th over x cubed. You keep the like things together. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. With my x's, 4 minus 3 is 1. So it's just a 3x. If I do number 10, negative 15 divided by negative 3. With my x's, I have 6 on top and 5 on the bottom. 1 remains. Y, 5 on top, 3 on the bottom.
2.
And I have a z on top and none on the bottom. So if there's none on the bottom, you just keep it. So it's just 5x y squared z. I want you guys to try a few. So do these 4 problems here. 8. 14 divided by 7 is 2. R's, remember, if there's no exponent written, it's just a 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so just R. S, 2 minus 1 is 1, so 2RS. Number 9, negative 36 divided by 4 is negative 9. What happens to the C's? They're dropped. 2 minus 2 is 0. Those C's are gone. D, I had 5 on top and 3 on the bottom, so it leaves me with 2 on top. So negative 9D squared. 11, what is 4 divided by 8? 1 half. With my n's, 5 minus 1 is 4. And number 12, use your calculator if you need to. 36 over 54.
46, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Hit math number 1, and that turns into
2/3.
all right. M, we have 9 on top and 3 on the bottom, so 9 minus 3 is 6. N, 5 on top, 2 on the bottom, so 5 minus 2 is 3. All right. Is this going okay? I'm actually going to stop here today. Tomorrow we're going to do some more practice mixing division in with all of our other stuff. But I want you to practice division before I mix it in with anything else. So I'm going to give you a handout. I only want you to do 1 through 12 on this. All right, when we have multiple things in our fractions, We are going to simplify first. So before I can divide, I have to work the numerator. Order of operation says we do parentheses and exponents before we multiply and divide. So when I look at this one, 3x to the 5th squared over 27x cubed. We have to first deal with the parenthesis and the exponent on top. So we know how to do that. If I have 3x to the 5th squared, we have to take the square to both of them. So 3 squared is 9. X to the 5th squared, you multiply those exponents, so 9x to the 10 over 27x cubed. Now we divide. 9 divided by 27 is 1/3. X to the 10th divided by x to the 3rd, x to the 7th. So, it's basically taking essentially two problems. We work top and bottom, whatever we need to simplify like usual. The last thing you do is the division. Okay, so if I'm looking at number 14 here, we start with the top. We have to cube like normal. We've seen problems like that. So 2 to the 3rd is 8. A squared to the 3rd would give me a to the
6.
b to the 4th to the 3rd would be b to the, and the bottom stays. Then it's like a problem you just did on your homework. 8 divided by 4 is 2. A to the 6th divided by a to the 3rd. You subtract exponents. 6 minus 3 is 3. B, 12 minus 7 is 5. So first we simplify, then we divide. Number 15, there's nothing to do on the top, but there is on the bottom. So right now the top is just going to stay. And we focus on the bottom. So 4 squared means 4 times 4 is 16. W to the 1st to the 2nd becomes W squared V squared. So 12 over 16, what does that reduce to? I'll wait. Let it come out. 12 over 16.
3 or 4.
Thank you. W's. 9 minus 2 is 7. V. 4 minus 2 is 2. Problem 16, both the top and the bottom have exponents. So we have to do the top and the bottom first. So on the top, we have 2 to the 4th power. That means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 16. C to the 1st to the 4th becomes C to the 4th. D, 4 times 4 is 16. On the bottom, 2 squared, so 2 times 2 is 4. C, 2 times 2 is 4. D, 3 times 2 is 6. So when we go through, 16 divided by 4 is 4. What happens to the C's on this one? They cancel. If you have C on top and bottom with the exact same exponent, those cancel, so we don't have any more C's. And D to the 16 minus 6 is 10. So work top and bottom, then we put them together. Last problem of the day. I feel like I've said that before, but on this one we have two options. You'll notice it's different because the third power is on the outside. And inside the parentheses we have the fraction. So because the whole thing is on the inside, we could go ahead and simplify the inside first if we would like. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. If we have 4 m's on top and 2 on the bottom, that would give me m. 4 minus 2 is 2. N, 2 minus 1 is just 1. And then we have that third power on the outside. So now we take the third power to everything. So 1/2 to the third is 1/8. The m's, 2 times 3 is 6. And my n, 1 times 3 is 3. And this is where we will pick up tomorrow.